Well, I think that we in Europe are partly responsible for the very large numbers of African refugees who are seeking to get into Europe. Once they get into Europe, they know they are free to move around the European Union, and many of them wish to come and settle in my country, but also in other countries throughout the European Union. And we've turned ourselves into a magnet for poor people from Africa. And many of them have been exploited by traffickers, brought across in the most dreadful circumstances, and as we've seen, many of them are drowning. Now, I've heard some commentators and reporters suggesting that what Europe ought to do is to open its borders and resettle these people. But of course, that cannot be acceptable. If we resettle 500 this week, it'll be 5,000 next week and 5 million the week after that. So we are perfectly entitled to control our borders, but we have to do it in an effective way. We should work with African countries to control immigration flows. We should perhaps, if we can, work with African countries to make their countries a more attractive place to stay. One thing we could do, for example, would be to dismantle the European Union's common agricultural policy, which makes it so difficult for poor farmers in third world countries to make a living and trade their way out of poverty by exporting food products. But we absolutely have to control our borders. We cannot allow this to go on. Perhaps we need better controls in terms of naval patrols in the Mediterranean to prevent these boats coming, to turn them around as soon as they get a little way offshore. But we cannot accept that we are responsible for this disaster, nor can we continue to turn Europe into a magnet for immigrants from Africa.